Let's talk about the Kelce brothers' epic journeys to the NFL and them getting their Super Bowl rings, top quarterback and coach duos in history, Chiefs' biggest draft needs, Aaron Donald's hunger for another ring, and much more. But first, how about those? What's up, everybody? My name is Cole, and I do daily news about the Kansas City Chiefs and the NFL overall. So make sure to sub if you're new, hit that like button, and let's get it. Yesterday was National Siblings Day, I guess. I can't keep up with these little calendar holiday things, but the Chiefs shared a cool moment between the Kelce brothers, which sort of brought me down memory lane with them and thought I would talk a little bit about their story. They grew up together, were always very competitive, and did you know, they spent 2 years together as college teammates at the University of Cincinnati. Travis got offers elsewhere, but wanted to stay true to following in his brother's footsteps and wanted to play college ball with him. From there, Jason was drafted by the Eagles in 2011. Then Travis was drafted by the Chiefs in 2013. So it's cool to see Travis was able to continue following in his brother's footsteps by making it to the NFL. And just out of curiosity, I looked up the win-loss record between the Chiefs and the Eagles since Travis's draft year, 2013. And the two teams have played each other 3 times, and the Chiefs are 3-0, baby. I'm sure Travis loves rubbing that in Jason's face every now and again, even though he respects his brother so much that he wears the number 87 in honor of his brother. Did you all know that? Jason was born in 1987, and so Travis chose 87 in honor of his brother's birth year. And I found this fact pretty awesome. They are 2 years apart in age. So Jason went to college 2 years before Travis, was drafted 2 years before Travis, and he won a Super Bowl 2 years before Travis. How wild is that? The Eagles won Super Bowl 52, the time when Nick Foles filled in for an injured Carson Wentz, who tore his ACL in December of that season and ended up beating Brady and the Patriots 41-33. Then, of course, we know 2 years later, the Chiefs won Super Bowl 54, coming back from behind and beating the 49ers 31-20. And on the subject of the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl, here's another wild or at least interesting fact that a lot of people don't know. The Roman numeral for Super Bowl 54 is LIV. Well, my wife and I had our second daughter just 2 weeks after Super Bowl 54, Super Bowl LIV, and months prior, like 5 or 6 months prior, we decided to name our daughter Olivia and give her the nickname Liv or Livy, L-I-V or L-I-V-V-Y. We had zero clue at the time that Super Bowl 54 had those Roman numerals, and definitely had no clue that the Chiefs would end up winning it. So that is a time I will never forget. The Chiefs win the Super Bowl, L-I-V. 2 weeks later, we have our daughter, L-I-V, Liv. Crazy. Anyway, shout out to my siblings for National Siblings Day. I didn't really talk about them, but then also shout out to the Kelce brothers. And since I just spoke about the Chiefs Super Bowl win, you guys remember the awesome parade and celebration the Chiefs had after they won the Super Bowl? Downtown KC was flooded with thousands and thousands of people. It was awesome. I took off work to watch the parade and take the moment in, and there were several awesome moments, but one moment that stands out is when someone from the crowd threw Mahomes a beer. He catches it, pops it open, sort of chugs it, drinks it. He spilt most of it on himself, I think, but hey, then the crowd went wild. Well, yesterday, KU had a celebratory parade in Lawrence to celebrate winning their national championship, and one of the players, Mitch Lightfoot, ended up catching a beer from the crowd, drinking it, then took to Twitter to ask Mahomes if he did it right. Well, Mahomes retweeted with some bicep emojis, basically saying, yep. And I just thought it was a cool moment worth sharing. I'm not sure he thought Mahomes would actually respond, but it was cool that he did. And then recently, Colin Cowherd listed his top 10 quarterback head coach duos in the NFL on The Herd, and his top 3 were in this order: 3, Josh Allen and Sean McDermott; 2, Matt Stafford and Sean McVay; and 1, y'all already know this answer, Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. Last season, the Chiefs went 12-5, and Mahomes threw for 4,839 yards, 37 TDs, and 13 interceptions. And Colin's thoughts on this duo was this: they're 20-3 against the AFC West since they conjoined, and the Chiefs have the best record in the NFL in the Mahomes-Andy Reid era. They're 50 and 15. You can't deny it. Mahomes has had some mini slumps he did last year, but as long as they're together with a good GM to get them weapons, they're number one. 50 and 15. That's pretty wild to me to even think about, considering how many times I watched the Chiefs lose, and lose some more growing up. But hey, on the subject of QB and coach duos, I want to ask you all this question. Who is your favorite QB and coach duo of all time, or maybe just your favorite in general? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd be curious to know your thoughts on this. Some great ones that come to mind to me are Chuck Noll and Terry Bradshaw with the Steelers, Don Shula and Dan Marino with the Dolphins, and I have to tip my hat to Brady and Belichick as well. But of course, my favorite currently, I'm biased, I know, but that's Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. That's no surprise to you all. And then Matt Connor of Arrowhead Addict recently dropped an article about the Chiefs' 3 biggest positions of need in draft investment. And I want to see if you all agree with this, because I feel like most of us are going to be in agreement on this one. And before I even looked at the article, I thought to myself, what are the top 3 needs we need? And I picked all 3. His first area of need was a running back. Nah, I'm just joking, but I still have PTSD from us selecting Clyde in the first round of the 2020 draft. The first area of need he really lists is defensive end. This is zero surprise to any of us, and to me, this is the greatest need without a doubt. Right now, the Chiefs have Frank Clark, Mike Dana, and Joshua Kando as holdovers. They added Joshua Woodard, who had a nice season in the CFL rushing the passer, but who has only been an NFL journeyman before now. If you're a big believer in Austin Edwards or Malik Herring, you might feel a bit more optimistic about the state of things, but overall, that's a pretty bleak picture. Beyond even this, if the Chiefs have their way and convince Melvin Ingram to return, you're still adding a player now well into his 30s, hoping to squeeze out one more season. In 2023, the results there are still the same. Clark is likely gone too, which means there's nothing long-term but rotational help, and that's being hopeful about what Kando can provide. The next need he lists, and maybe this isn't as important as the third one, but the next one he lists is wide receiver. With Pringle, Robinson, and Hill gone, I think we all know that the signing of MVS and Smith-Schuster, aka the Dash brothers, because both their last names have dashes, are nice. And McColl will probably come alive this season as well, at least I'm hoping so. But we still need more weapons for Mahomes, or at least I'd like to see more, because I don't see Juju or MVS as being a true wide receiver one, just my opinion. Tight end Jody Fortson is showing promise if he comes back okay from his injury, and Kelce is Kelce, but he turns 33 on October, and he cannot carry this team forever. Some are saying Cornell Powell or Josh Gordon may have a come-up season, but that's a bit of speculation, and I want a guy who can come in and immediately make an impact and take this team up. Our Super Bowl window is now. Let's run it. And then the next position Matt Connor lists is cornerback. Listen to this. In 5 years, we've lost 5 starters at this position. Charvarius Ward this year, then previously Bashaud Breeland, Kendall Fuller, Steven Nelson, and then we also traded Marcus Peters before those guys left. So yeah, with Ward and Hughes gone, next season the only corner currently left would be Snead, as DeAndre Baker and Rashad Fenton are free agents in 2023. So this is a definite need. Do you guys agree with me here? And Matt Connor of Arrowhead Addict, of course, D-line, cornerback, and wide receiver being the top 3 needs for the team. Let me know in the comments down below. I'd give tight end and right tackle runner-up needs for me personally as well. And with the draft edging closer and closer, no pun on the word edge because we need edge rushers, I'm very curious to see what happens. In other NFL news, players around the NFL keep showing support and honoring memories of 24-year-old QB Dwayne Haskins, who recently passed away over the weekend. If you want to know more about that, I covered that in yesterday's video. But former college teammate Terry McLaurin shared a heartfelt message to and about Haskins, and many other players such as Big Ben, Chase Claypool, who was with Haskins in Florida over that weekend. Mahomes also responded saying, "Prayers, man." Tyreek was at a loss for words. Chris Jones retweeted something Joe Burrow posted, Russell Wilson, and many others. It's definitely a sad situation, and since we are on sad news currently, let's stay here for a moment longer. I want to mention that former NFL running back and longtime assistant coach Gary Brown died yesterday in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. He was 52 years old, and Brown had been in hospice care and had, quote, significant health issues since 2019, according to the team. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones said Gary Brown had, quote, a big heart partnered with a big smile and a big personality. His energy and spirit were infectious. He lit up every room he walked into and touched the lives of those who knew him in such a positive way. So yeah, guys, hold your loved ones close. Life is precious and tomorrow is never promised. But sheesh, we got to talk about some other NFL news that is not so sad. So let's switch gears here for a bit. Aaron Donald recently pretty much confirmed his return for the 2022 NFL season. During a recent podcast, he said this: "We got a real shot to repeat and really win a Super Bowl, so why not come back and play?" That's all it's about. I experienced this and I thought I wanted to be done, but I got addicted to it. I'm hungry to try to get another one for sure. I cannot lie about that. He says he's faster, feeling great, and his trainer recently said, based on how he's performing right now, he's got another good 3 to 5 years left in his NFL gas tank. Donald is about to turn 31 and says, quote, "I feel quick, explosive. I don't feel like I'm slowing down. If anything, I feel like I'm getting faster. I feel like I'm in better shape. I keep telling people I get better with age, man. I don't slow down. I just feel like I'm getting that much stronger. I look better with age and all that." Aaron Donald is a machine, certified G unit. You have to tip your hat to the guy. And then quarterback Trevor Siemian recently said he signed with the Bears because, quote, "These are really smart guys who believe in what they're doing and have a clear vision for the direction of the club." That was something that was attractive for me. So there we go. From the Saints to the Bears to back up Justin Fields goes Siemian. And then recently retired head coach Bruce Arians says the offensive coordinator of the Bucs, Byron Leftwich, needs more praise than he gets for the Buccaneers' success. Quote, "I get credit and Brady gets way too much credit for what Byron does on our offense. One of the reasons I hope he gets all the credit he deserves this year is to get a coaching gig. You know, he had about 4 or 5 teams real interested last year. I would anticipate him to be a head coach real fast." And then Tennessee Titans wide receiver A.J. Brown's name has been attached to talks about an extension or a potential trade this offseason. Head coach Mike Vrabel isn't having any of the latter. Quote, "Not as long as I'm the head coach," Vrabel said when asked on the Rich Eisen show if Brown was on the trade block. "I love AJ professionally and personally. I've gotten to know him well as his coach and enjoy seeing him as much as I possibly can. I saw him here working out earlier, said hi, and as long as I'm the coach here, I would want to have AJ Brown on my football team." So there you have it, folks. Looks like AJ Brown is staying around, which of course they all say that. My question about wide receivers these days, those is who's really safe? Will they still be around on the same team? Because the inflation on wide receiver contracts has been absolutely insane this offseason, and they are only going to want to continue down the road of swimming in absolute poolfuls of gold coins. I just made that up. It doesn't even make a bunch of sense, but lots of money, gold coins swim in it. Yeah, you know, AJ Brown, Deebo Samuel, DK Metcalf, these guys are all due for new contracts soon. So will teams be willing to give them as much as the players feel like they deserve? Or will they be moving on elsewhere? What are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments down below, because I feel like Andy Reid a month ago would have said the exact same thing in an interview about Tyreek Hill. Quote, "As long as I'm the head coach of this team, Tyreek Hill will be a Kansas City Chief." Well, that did not stay the case, because at the end of the day, cash is king and money talks. And while you're down there in the comment section letting me know about that, why don't you also let me know your favorite sport outside of the NFL? What else do you like to watch, especially during the off season? For me, it's the UFC. I trained in Taekwondo for 10 years, so I enjoy the art of combat sports a ton. Bow to your sensei.
Bow to your sensei. Bow to your sensei.
All right, make sure to sub for more daily news like this, and check out this video here from the previous day's news in case you missed it. So until next time, let's go. How about those